settled on a team for tomorrow?
We're naming 12, so Matt Henry is coming for Neil Wagner and he'll miss out, and the 12 that have been here will be the 12, and we just want to have another look at the surface. It's got a different look to perhaps what we're used to seeing here at the Basin, but I guess still confident that it'll be a good cricket wicket, which it does tend to be here with a bit of pace and bounce. Yeah, I mean, you sort of don't replace a guy like Neil. I think the qualities that he brings are quite unique, but you bring in, I guess, a guy that targets slightly different areas, coming from a slightly different height as well, and really exciting opportunity for Kyle Jamieson. Like I say, we do want to turn up tomorrow, consider all our options, hence why we've named the 12. It does leave us with a number of options just to have a look at the surface, see how it dries out. So it's just weighing up what we think will be the biggest threat from the options that we have, because, like I say, it is a slightly different looking surface than we're used to, but at the same time confident that it will be a good cricket wicket. There's just some different colouring on it, which we just want to check tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, here in New Zealand it does tend to provide a bit of movement and assistance for the fast bowlers, so leaving the ball well and knowing when you're off stump is important parts to most, I guess, top order batsmen's games. As we've seen here as well, at times when the surface has been green, it's still played very, very well. So I suppose it's adapting to what's in front of you is the most important thing. Yeah, I mean, he's bowled really nicely in the one-day arena, and so it's great that he's come into the fold, and obviously a different, I guess, set of strengths to someone like Neil Wagner. But at the same time, I think we saw in the white ball formats as well, the T20s and the one days, that having a number of guys out did provide opportunities for guys to come in and grow as cricketers at the highest level. So it should be a really exciting opportunity for Kyle. I don't know. I'm not the person to ask. But yeah, look, I have no idea. It is a slightly different colour. Or some parts of it are, but by all accounts the grass cover's still there and fairly even, but yeah, I don't know. Sorry, no answer for you there. Yeah, I mean, I think you're just forever trying to improve your game, adapt your game to the conditions, and obviously in Australia, without a doubt, wanted more runs personally, but ultimately wanted more runs to try and help the team get themselves into better positions, and that's always the focus. And we come back to New Zealand where the conditions are different again, so it's probably more adapting to what's in front of you versus, I guess, analysing too much of what's gone. But at the same time, there are always opportunities to learn from those things to improve as a player. So those would be the main focuses. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of differences, I suppose, and the conditions being the first one. But as you say, India have a world-class side, a world-class pace attack that have performed in all conditions. So a really exciting opportunity for our team. But once again, it's trying to assess the conditions as best we can and commit to our own plans, which ultimately gives us the best chance of good results. So it is peeling it back. Obviously, off coming back here from Australia, back into Test cricket. I know the guys are really looking forward to getting into it, but it's taking some learnings from that. But in some ways, trying to keep peeling back the style of cricket that we play here in New Zealand and connect with that again. No, I don't know. I suppose the points are the bit at the end, I guess, where if you're playing good cricket and you're winning cricket games, then the points come into a little bit more. And I suppose if you're closer to the top, then and you're in contention for perhaps that final, then you might have some strategic moves. But we're a little bit off that at the moment, so it is about looking to play our best cricket, the brand of cricket that's important to us, to give us the best chance. Yeah, it's an interesting one, because I guess there is an element to that isn't fair, but I suppose there is an effort in bringing context to Test cricket that wasn't there. So I mean, the Test Championship is definitely a step in the right direction. Not perfect, but I'm sure that after the first year or two of it. There will always be efforts to continue to make it a better product, but it is good that it's a step in the right direction. But as you say, there's so many parts to it that some teams playing 5, some teams playing 2. The different countries, that there's just heaps of different parts to it that don't perhaps make the points of equal measure. But like I say, we've all signed up to it. We're all keen to see how it unfolds, and I'm sure it'll develop over time. Yeah, I mean, I guess going over to Australia, we were exposed in a number of areas, and I do think conditions were a big factor, but also the learning curve of going to a place like Australia where we always know it's tough, and limiting that expectation, so you are continuing to just focus on the process that's held you in good stead for a long period of time, whether that means winning or losing. It is bringing the focus to the smaller steps rather than some of the loftier goals that can be achieved, but you do need to take care of kind of the next moment rather than you're getting too far ahead of yourselves. And and I think definitely as a unit, I know it was a tough series in terms of a result to swallow, but you can't change the past, but you can use it definitely to improve as individuals and as a team. And I know all the guys were taking those lessons, and everybody, I guess, had a slightly different experience in terms of a personal one, but trying to use that to be better players and to keep moving this team forward, I think, is the main point. To be honest, I hadn't thought too much about that. Like I say, I suppose going over to Aussie and touching on the last point is just coming back to what's important to our team. And we know that whenever you play India in any format, they're a really tough challenge anywhere in the world. So you know that they're going to bring a high level of competition, as they always do. But for us, it is the most important thing to keep coming back, connecting to what's really important to our cricket as a team, the style of cricket that's allowed us to have success over a period of time, and that's, like I say, those small steps. I mean, obviously Virat's the best or one of, without a doubt, in all formats, but they're a quality side. I think they're leading the Test Championship, and there's a reason for it. They've got so many quality batsmen in their lineup, and they've got a world-class bowling attack as well. So you certainly don't just focus on one player. And I guess that brings us back to the focus on our own team's approach. I think if you can execute your plans on a surface that's going to provide some assistance, then it's a challenge for anybody. But no doubt both teams will be looking to operate as well as they can in the areas that give them the best chance. But we've seen here on these surfaces in New Zealand that there are some assistance early on, or there is, but it can also, the pace and some of the bounce that you might get also provides opportunities for scoring. So there is a balance there, and it's never a given, even when the surface is green, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, we go quite a long way back, really, to under-19s, and played against each other in different competitions as well. Obviously, the international arena and the IPL, and always admired Virat for, in a lot of ways, setting benchmarks in the international game, which was pretty obvious with the standards that he sets. But that was really interesting the other day to sort of sit down and have a quiet chat on the outfield and share a lot of thoughts that we had, and a lot of sort of similar views on the game and slightly different approaches, which was really refreshing, but quite inspiring as well from a guy that is, very inspiring from a guy that's leading the way and is tenacious in his competitive attitude, but his outlook on the game and what he does in and around it, is like I say, an admirable thing. Yeah, it is a balance. Obviously, you do look at the opposition, and you know that they've got a number of strengths, and you're wanting to be smart in how you operate, and that is, I guess, a part of our brand. We know that we need to stay in the fight for long periods of time, and there's obviously a number of other parts to our game and the plans that we set and the commitment to those plans that are of equal importance to the brand and the style of cricket that we play, regardless of sometimes the outcome. No doubt you want good outcomes, you want the wins, but the focus needs to be on the work that has to go into giving you the opportunity to achieve those things. So, adapting to conditions, playing smart cricket is something we talk about often in all formats, but especially here in the Test arena where the conditions can be dramatically different in all different parts of the world.